Hi everyone, my name is Temmy Dosumu. I'm a lawyer. I work at Family Solicitors. I'm part of the technology and media team, and it's my privilege today to interview Segun Aluko. He's one of the biggest entertainment lawyers around. You're welcome, Segun. I think I will allow him to introduce himself.
Oh, thank you, Temmy. My name is Shegun Aluko. I'm an entertainment lawyer. I'm based in the US, in the state of California, but I'm also licensed in Nigeria. I've been practicing law now for about 13 years, and I'm also a senior associate at Sheppard, Mullin, Richter, and Hampton LLP, which is a law international law firm in the United States. So I practice in the entertainment technology and advertising practice group of the firm, and my core practice focuses on film and television, a little bit of music, and I represent major and major Hollywood studios and also independent production companies. So happy to be here.
Wow. I mean, you heard it all right there. It's one of the biggest names around. I mean, I think this is important also for us as farms because we have a TNT team and getting to also, which I think that's some important connection right there. So I mean, I will be asking you some important questions, which I believe from your perspective as a practitioner outside the African continent and also within the African continent, you can provide a better perspective to these issues. So, from your experience, what would you call, in 2-3 minutes, what would you summarize as the front burner issues at the moment? What are the hottest issues at the moment in the practice of entertainment law in Nigeria and in Africa generally at the moment?
Oh, thank you for saying that. I feel like the top burner issue right now is pretty much an institutional legal framework. I know that the Nigerian copyright law is still not up to par with best industry standards. My understanding was back in 2015 there was effort to reform the Copyright Act, and I did actually provided some comment to the Nigerian Copyright Commission regarding that. I feel like there's a need for us to understand that intellectual property law is really, really important for the development of the entertainment industry in Nigeria, particularly the Copyright Act. One big issue that needs to be addressed is making sure that banks and other investors are able to invest in copyright just like they invest or finance other projects, whether it's corporate finance or project finance, infrastructure, stuff like that. And one thing you notice in secure transactions is that you're able to do have security interest on the project. Same thing should also happen for film and television shows financing. But then there's something that's missing in Nigerian Copyright Act, and that is the recordation of transaction bordering on copyright. So, if for example you make a movie or you make a television show, and then you have an investor, you have the bank that's financing it, just like you can put a lien on the property and go register it with the land registry.
Yeah, that's correct.
Or you put a lien on the company's asset and then you register it with the CAC. You should be able to do the same thing.
Wow.
To be able to register, a lien on a film or a television show.
To protect your interests.
Exactly. So I feel like that will really encourage banks and other financial institutions to really invest in movies, so that the Nigerian Copyright Office, just like you have in the US, where you can find a recordation of transaction on copyright with the United States Copyright Office, the Nigerian Copyright Commission should be able to do that. My understanding is that which was my suggestion in 2015, is still not reflected in the Nigerian Copyright Act yet.
I think stakeholders they're watching and they're listening to you.
I hope so.
And I'm sure the position of that will change also, because we would also be able to drive that from the point of advocacy as well and policy. So you mentioned something on investors, and I want to take you right up on that. For investors in other jurisdictions coming into Africa, or some of them are already present here, like Netflix and what have you, what would you call or summarize as their pain points in terms of doing business in Africa? That's the business of entertainment. What would you call their pain points? And for those who are existing foreign investors in the entertainment ecosystem? What are like the challenges in terms of expansion and deepening their investments in our, entertainment ecosystem here? I mean, you've seen it also. I mean, tell us.
Honestly, it's an institutional legal framework. Like our Copyright Act is very, it's okay. Like even, it's modeled after the British system.
Wow.
The British government, they already, they already have renewed law, like even since the 1970s. The Copyright, Act of the United Kingdom. So I think it's called Copyright Designs Act or something like that. Like there's a need for us to really update our Copyright Act. So that's one of the main points. The other one is really finding law firms and finding other professionals who actually have experience, working on really complex, productions.
Wow.
But the thing, like in my experience, I know that Nigerian companies, because of course Nigerians are very, very industrious. Like they, intelligent people.
That's right.
They, people are already catching up on those stuff. And trying to, bridge those gaps. So if we can work on our institutional legal framework and bring it out to par with what up things in the UK and in the US, I think we'll go a long way in really helping us, in Nigeria, because like Nollywood could actually be the Hollywood of Africa.
Wow.
So many things like Nigeria should be considering co-production treaties, with other countries. I know there's one in the pipeline with South Africa, but they're not really focusing on it as much as they should.
Sure.
We should have a co-production treaty with France, given everything that Nigerian private sector does with Alliance Française.
Yeah.
We should have co-production treaty with other countries in Europe, with the UK, for example. Because like those are ways for us to really garner interest and investment in Nigeria's entertainment industries, be it film and television. In music, I know things are already happening, but for music, you don't really need a lot of capital to do music. But for film and television, when you're talking about
heavy.
Exactly, it's heavy investment. Like the movie could cost $60 million depending on the budget. So that institutional legal framework, both like internally with our Copyright Act, and then externally with bilateral treaties or multilateral treaties, but more importantly bilateral treaties with other countries in form of co-production treaties, will go a long way in really helping. So those are what I would consider pinpoints that where opportunities lie.
Wow. You heard it all right there. Really, really interesting and insightful points that you've shared. Lastly, what would be your advice? Because I've worked with a number of players in the entertainment space, and I'll share my experience with you. And that experience leads me to the question I'm going to ask you. So here in Nigeria and in Africa, you find like a lot of players in the entertainment space pushing back when it comes to engaging lawyers, engaging entertainment counsel to help them navigate the contracts, to help them protect their intellectual property, as it were. And I'll tell you why. From my experience and our experience as a firm, is usually the issue of costs. They see the procurement, like hiring a lawyer, as something that is going to eat into their revenue. And I'm talking about entertainment, outfits. I'm talking about celebrities. Like the whole 9 yards of players you find in the entertainment space. They more or less see lawyers as ways of reducing their revenue at the end of the day. But some of them even go as far as even hiring undergraduate law school students to draft contracts for them, really. And that's like so much risk. So what will your advice be to players in this space in terms of how to perceive legal work, how to perceive lawyers as collaborators who actually help to support what they are doing and could even help them maximize revenue? What will your advice to them be?
Honestly, the advice to them is that they need to understand that lawyers play a very important role.
That's right.
in the economy,
Okay.
and then particularly for entertainment, because it's still like in its nascent stage in Nigeria. It's really important because the thing is like they're building a portfolio of IP. It's a slit, right? and then for intellectual property rights, they like bundles of rights in it. Do really work? You know, you could create characters, you know, from a movie. That, you know, just like for Disney, for example.
Okay.
You know, you have like, you know, characters, you know, Iron Man, and then you can make like multiple movies out of it. But then for you to do that, it's important that you know, understand the basics, and that's where the lawyers come in.
Wow.
The lawyers come in, they explain things to you, they structure the contract, they protect you. So then, you know, I would tell them, it's like, don't be penny wise and pound foolish.
You heard that?
It's important that, you know, you work with your lawyers. Like in Hollywood, like studios, they depend heavily on their lawyers, who usually are the ones running the business and legal affairs of the studios. And then also even the celebrities, like there's no celebrity like there's worth its salt that would sign the contract without, you know, having a lawyer look at it. So what I would advise them is, like, you know, as we're talking about institutional legal framework, the folks that are understanding, that were trained, you know, to help you understand the risk and mitigate it, are the lawyers. So I encourage them to really, really think of lawyers as people that will help you understand your business, right? And then understand the risk and help you mitigate it. So it is like, sometimes it's not all about maximizing revenue, it's also about reducing costs and being very, very efficient with it. So you want to kind of like identify things, you know, all the pillows or the potholes, like right at the beginning now, and fix it, rather than wait, you know, till the end where the stakes, you know, are much higher.
Wow, I mean, I think it's been an interesting session for me. I mean, mind blowing. I mean, you've heard like a cross, like a mix of, you know, Nigerian, African, and also, you know, some American perspective to the practice and the business of entertainment. So I think we'll look forward to seeing you some other time.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Do have a nice day. Bye.